because what happens is when you go into leadership positions, the leadership positions are usually very lonely in a way, because you have an entire team which you have to motivate, you have to engage, and you have to get them, like engage in task, as well as, like create a kind of culture as well. So what is extremely important is to provide that safe environment to the leader where he or she can be vulnerable as well. Like, I mean, I engage in a lot of trainings as well, but when it comes to coaching, there is a clear difference between, leadership training and leadership coaching. Because when it is a training, there are like around 20 people sitting over there or 15 people. So whenever you would talk about the challenges, you will talk in a more generic, kind of language that, okay, fine, these are the challenges leaders feel. However, when you sit with the coach, that's where there is a safe space. That's where you can be really vulnerable and you can actually talk about the challenges which you face. Today only, I'll give you an example. Very recently, I was working with a very senior executive of an organization here in Pakistan, a big name. And I'm actually, so we've had around 9 sessions, and I was just putting together the post-coaching report. And I tell you, it was amazing to see that person to hit on those blind spots, which, in a way may not be, were there, but I mean, as we call it, a blind spot, was not aware. Like, for example, one of the tasks which we do is like, as a coach, and so every coach does that, you get them engaged into different reflective exercises. And along with that, what happens, one of the things which we usually do is that in coaching, there is one, the benchmark that, the desired different organizations have their own leadership frameworks, they have their leadership DNA, or maybe competencies. And also that benchmark is already defined by any organization. But when you start the coaching process, you always form a baseline as well. And to form that baseline, a lot of times, I mean, what I usually prefer, there would be assessment centers, there would be line managers input as well. Maybe there is an input from the team as well. But what is most effective is the psychometric. Because what psychometric does, it takes the perception out of the equation. And when you have that report, which is actually filled out by the person himself, and when you debrief that report, it actually kind of, there are some aha moments over there that, like the perception is totally out. So maybe this is an angle where I need to focus on. So that brings a lot of credibility to the entire process.